Record. All right, well, welcome everyone to our Executive Bound webinar. This is month 2, like I can't believe it's already month 2. And of course, I have Stacia Waffen on here with me as well. And today's September 8th, and we are going to be talking today about our first culture, which is teamwork and monthly activity. So Stacia and I were having a really good conversation around this. And I said, you know, I always hear people talking about, you know, how do you really set your goals and then how do you share them, which is a big part of teamwork and monthly activity. And there is an art to how you share the goals so that it's not all about you. And I know many of you do this really, really well. And so if that's something you do, we'll have you guys jump in and share as well. But that is one piece that we're going to kind of hit on a little bit more because some people do are challenged with that. But first, we have lots to celebrate. So we are celebrating some new executive promotions. This is always my favorite part. Everybody looks so beautiful. I love their pictures. So we have new executive director from Canada, Michelle Beaupre. I hope I said it right, Michelle. You let me know. We also have Corey Ellis, Chantel Gossett, Beverly Graham, Jennifer Jones, and Deborah Kimball. Those are the first 6. So give them lots of kudos and love in the chat. And then we have Alicia Sanford, Shelley Tozzolino, and Jenny Ward. And we have actually 2 other execs that are not part of Exec Bound that also promoted. So you guys, we had 11 new execs promote on September 1st. So that is really, really exciting. So the question is, who is next? Well, I'm going to tell you. All these people. All right, Tiffany Irwin's doing the raise the roof thing. I love it. So you guys can see all of these execs. If that's you, if your name's on there, you want to take a picture, go for it. But you guys, this is really exciting because there are 20, I forgot the number, was it 28, 27, 28?
I think we're 27.
27 people going for month 1 this month. So that is really, really exciting. I see Sharon Sarah's got a big grin on her face there, just shaking her head like, what the heck?
Love it.
Isn't it awesome? So you guys have heard me talk about our vision, and we always have a kind of a vision statement for each Executive Bound program. And so our statement is that through training, network, and accountability, you will learn what it takes to be an executive team. And we are going to have fun in the process because, you know, Stacia and I really like to have fun. So our vision is to have 200 executive director teams promoted by February 1st to January, or from February 1st to January 1, 2021. So that means we need 108 execs. We knew this was a huge goal, but you know, go big or go home. I can't tell you guys to do it if we're not willing to do it, right? So we just had 11 promotes. So we have 97 to go. Woohoo! But we have over 200 people, not quite 200 people in this group. So I really do think it can happen. So you guys, right now we have, how many people at the executive level? Guesses. I want to know. How many people do you think we have at the executive level? Now keep in mind, 6 of those people moved up to senior exec.
You're talking just at the executive, not senior exec and national, right?
Right, just at the executive level. Oh, there's some good guesses.
Good guesses.
All right, so we have 117 execs, 23 senior executive directors, and 39 nationals.
That's
and
amazing.
we have somebody who's in qualification this month. And it's really funny because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but at the last Exec Sim last year, all the nationals got together one night and kind of created this song and video and challenged us to have 40 execs by October 1st. And when this last one hits it, we're going to do that.
40 national executive directors.
National, sorry, did I not say national? Yeah. So anyway, you guys, it's just exciting what is happening here. And we are super excited to have you guys as part of Executive Bound.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to have Stacia jump in and share a few things with you now.
Awesome. Thanks, Kath. So we have recapped on our previous 2 webinars and time together what it means to be an inspirational leader and really all that we stand for at Pampered Chef and everything we're working for and that you all are working for revolves around becoming an inspirational leader. And remember, inspirational leaders really do it all. They inspire others. They set the pace for their team. They lead by example, and they lead themselves. They believe in themselves. They believe in others, and especially until their belief has a chance to catch up. So maybe you've got those team members who just don't have that personal belief, but you, as their inspirational leader, have that opportunity to be that belief that they don't yet have. And that's a really exciting part of what we get to do. Inspirational leaders are able to teach others how to believe in themselves and how to believe in others as well, as they help to develop others and to develop leaders. It is really the transference of ability that comes from inspirational leaders. And even more importantly, they create a vision and a picture so clear that others can see themselves in it. Think about for a moment how we create a picture of wanting to be a director, or even like Cathy just did, creating that vision of being an executive as you cross the stage at national conference. What does that picture look like for you? And I would love to know in the chat, what is that picture? What is that vision that you see for yourself? Perhaps it's a national executive team doing your dance on stage. You've got the air guitars out, the sunglasses, whatever it is. Maybe it's Circle of Honor, being one of the best in our entire company. Or perhaps being a 4-category excellence award achiever. What is that vision for you? I love Carrie was looking at dresses yesterday. What color dress, Carrie?
And so, 4 categories she's going for.
Purple.
Purple. Ooh, she's going for senior exec. I love that.
Love
she's
it.
thinking ahead.
About their song. So cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love it. So where are you today? How do you become an inspirational leader? Well, first, which are you? Are you a director? Are you a leader, or are you an inspirational leader? And I would challenge each one of you to say that you are an inspirational leader, whether you know it or not. You already are inspirational to the members of your team. Can we be better at it? Absolutely. None of us have arrived. That's what we're here for. But even more importantly, how do you become the inspirational leader of an executive team? That's really what we're here to talk about it today. And it starts with creating that vision and that culture for success. We had awesome webinars in the month of August, from the one that Cathy led to kick us off, to hearing from the amazing Jennifer Lewandowski about how she's worked so hard to shift her culture and to cast that vision in her organization. So now it's your turn. What should you be doing to create vision and to create that culture for success? I would love to know, what is it that you're doing? Where are you starting with this? We've given you a lot of ideas, certainly, haven't we, Kath?
Absolutely, yeah. So you guys type it in the chat what you guys are doing. We want to see it. How are you really creating that vision right now? How you're talking about becoming an executive team? Are you talking about it? Are you showing your vision board?
And we know you guys have all worked really hard to recreate and to adapt and adjust your vision boards, but what are you doing with them? That's where Cathy and I really want to stretch you and challenge you today. So let's talk about culture first, how it's defined. And this is super important. We're going to keep repeating this definition. Culture is a set of shared values, goals, and practices that characterize a group, team, or an organization. The culture is what we do and say, the way we behave, and the way we treat each other. Now, you know, there are 2 ways that culture can come together on your team. First, you can just let it fall into place and let it be and let it happen. And we know that generally the louder voice wins in this scenario. And that may or may not be for the best. So we encourage you to take ownership of the culture in your organization and define what that culture is going to look like by driving it and creating it. So I want to ask you, can you create the culture that you want? Hopefully you answer that question with a loud and a firm yes. because absolutely you can. So what cultures do you want to create in your organization? Teamwork and monthly activity, fast-paced recruiting growth, and career plan advancement. These are not new to many of you, and they may be new to some of you who haven't been through some of our previous programs. You've probably seen these 3 cultures before, and these are supremely important to building and growing and becoming that executive organization. So Kath, I'm going to hand it over to you to dive in to talk about the culture of teamwork and monthly activity.
Okay, first of all, I have to put up this amazing board again that Jennifer did and use it as such a great example. Just because it's funny, as I've seen lots of people posting them, and they're all great, they're all fun, but I want you to really think about some of these key points. Like usually people will miss that they're supposed to be on the vision board. So you see Jennifer's in the little house on the left. That's her representation there. But so many people forget. So make sure you're at the top of the page, even if it's kind of off to the side how she's got that. You want to make sure your team name is something that really is going to be igniting the culture that you guys are trying to create. And it typically does not include your name. I don't tell people they can't have their name, but a lot of people do change that. And you want to make sure your generations are all listed. I know I've seen some people where they've, kind of just done it on a tree and nobody really knows where's first gen, where's second gen, because you guys, what this does is it helps people really understand the career plan as well. And so also remember to have those extra spaces listed on your vision board. And I know we've talked about this 3 times now, but it's funny how some people still don't do that. And with those extra spaces, you're going to put, available, or this spot is open. I've seen people put like leader needed, which that to me sounds like more like it's about you, what you need. And so I know it sounds trivial, but what we say really can impact what kind of results we get. So language like this is an open position, or like Stacia said last time, claim your spot, or this could be you. That's what creates more vision for people to want to be a part of that. And so I love, again, how Jennifer has the goals off to the side. And what she's really doing is she is recognizing the activity she's wanted repeated. I want you to look at this board and see if you can figure out how many categories of recognition Jennifer is doing here. All right. What does this board recognize and therefore promote? All right. So think about that. What is it? What do you guys see? Obviously, you see promotions to director, but you also see them going green. You also see promotions to upper level titles. You see personal recruiting. You see high team sales. And reaching for monthly team goals, annual goals, and overall structure goals. When you're talking about the SED goal in there, that's kind of the overall structure of the organization, which is the part that really helps them to, feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves. So what we want to talk about is why you want to do this. And I love what Stacia said about this. Do you want to share what you were saying, Stacia, about why you think it's so important?
Which part?
Where you were talking about the visual representation?
I just love that piece because, it truly shows exactly where somebody's place is as a part of the organization, as a part of reaching the goal. Because if I'm a consultant or a senior consultant, I don't yet have a house on the vision board, but it really visually represents, and a lot of people are visual learners. Some people are auditory. You don't know, you got to kind of hit them all. So just posting this picture helps maybe me, who's a visual learner, know that I can claim that house. So it's one thing for them to have heard you say it before, but it's totally different when they can see like there's that empty house waiting for me to claim my spot and put my name on it.
Yeah, I love that, because I love how you talked about the different learning styles too. And it's interesting. I think I shared this with you guys last time. It might've been a different group. But we were kind of looking at stats of when, like, we present these webinars. Do you realize why we repeat stuff? Because the stat is that if you're on a webinar, 30 minutes, an hour, doesn't matter. The first time you hear it, you only really remember 17% of it. So that's why when we say teamwork and monthly activity, my question is, hey, do you know what things encompass teamwork and monthly activity? Like if I just said that to you, could you, shout them out and name them off? So this is why we repeat some of these things.
That's like 6 minutes of what we share in an hour. If you do
you guys better be taking really good notes after I heard that.
That's why we send the replays.
Yeah, right. So, a lot of times people will ask how often they present the vision board. So I would love to have you guys type in the chat, how often are you presenting the vision board? We definitely recommend that you do it, at the beginning of the month, the middle of the month, that you get the more you're looking for meetings, and then post it. I know some people are updating weekly. I recommend at least weekly. I know some do it daily. That seems like a little tedious. But so I see Jen is being honest and saying not enough. Yep. Once or twice a month, beginning of the month, and update weekly. All right. So that's what I want you guys to think about. And how are you going to do it? Are you going to go live? Are you going to, do it at your team meeting? Are you going to have a video that's always available that you can just post? I remember when Love Carpenter was speaking at executive seminar, and she's like, we talk about it all the time. Like every time I talk to him, we talk about it because it is our vision. It's where we're going. So those are just some things for you to think about. And then the other part that people were asking about, of course, is then the personal team page. And I know last time you guys couldn't see this. So Stacia did post these in the group for you guys. But again, look at all of this. Everything that this is recognizing, promotions to senior consultant, to team leader, director, and I think advanced director and executive director. Of course, I was sitting there going, wait, where's senior director? But I totally get what you're doing here now, Jennifer, because you have an advanced director that's off to the side. Is that right? No. Oh, she's a director.
No, sorry. Yeah, she's a director. No, truthfully, it's just a typo. I wish there was some kind of bigger picture here, but I have updated this and I have a corrected version in my team page now.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I was like, wait, I'm missing this part. So, and the only other thing I would say is you need one more star for sales because you got to sell them on Elite Seller with 6,000 in sales.
Consider it done.
All right. I know how you operate. So, all right. So I actually would like to just stop the share for a minute and ask you guys, what are things that you are doing to recognize activity that you want repeated? So think about not only in your vision board, but other things that you're doing with your team that are really working. And I saw some people even talking about how you're creating vision, which that actually creates activity as well in the chat. So I don't know, Stacia, if you can scroll back and see where those were, but let me stop the share.
That's a green by 15, drawings, postcards, happy mail.
Okay, great. What else? And if somebody wants to come off mute and share, just, wave. Actually, we can't see all of these. So just come off mute and say, hey, it's Amy, and share what you're doing. Especially if it's something that's, you haven't done before, you've really seen some exciting results.
I'm trying to really up the recruiting, particularly amongst my directors. We all need to get recruiting more. So I'm starting a cash pot for recruiting.
Okay.
Create this, stole this from somebody else, but where you put a little bit of money per every recruit into a pot and then do a draw at the end of the month. And they have a requirement that they have to recruit a minimum of 2 to be in the draw.
Okay, I love that. And I know, Michelle, some people were saying, your name would go in as well, but then if your name was pulled, then what do you do?
Yeah, I will put the money in for my recruits, but I won't put my name in the draw. So in other words, it'll go up by $5 for me. I have seen other people do it though, where if their name is drawn, then the money doesn't get awarded. So that's an incentive for you to make sure that you're recruiting as well, and maybe an incentive for your team to beat you. Someone just said in the chat, they roll the money over to the next month if their name gets drawn. So last month I did a incentive for my directors. What the heck was that? It was, if they were green by a particular date. And again, I counted the number of directors we had green in our organization, and it was $10 per green director was for the draw. And the $10 went in for my personal team being green. I just didn't, put my name in the draw.
Sure.
But
Yep. So some people are asking how much you put in per recruit. I've seen people put in $1 per recruit. Susan's saying she puts in $2. Who else was going to jump in?
I think it depends too on how many you're anticipating your team recruiting, right? I mean, if you've got a smaller team and $5 is reasonable, I mean, I guess it kind of just depends. But for me personally, I was doing $5 for this month.
Okay, great.
And for my whole org.
Okay, good. Who else wants to share?
I see a lot of $2 going on in the chat there.
Yeah.
Another good one I saw, let me scroll back to it. Y'all are so crazy in the chat, I lost it.
That's good. I'm glad you're chatting.
Jamie does recognition for goal setting, #MoreGreen. Earlier in the month gives more tickets. Of course, Cash Pot and planting peppers, because are you guys, Jamie, the Red Hot Chili Peppers? I think you are.
Yes, we are.
I thought so. I thought I remembered that, right?
I'm trying to, instead of just focusing on the recruits, I'm trying to focus on the activities that'll get them the recruits. So show me a 3-way chat or a screenshot of your conversation, post that on our page, and then that can give other people language too to use. So
yeah, I love that. And I remember in the very beginning when people just started doing #DoAndTell, and it was anything for like making a contact. It even included things like taking a training, that kind of thing. The bottom line is they were touching their business every day. You can decide if you want those to be income generating activities or if you want them to include training, which eventually helps to build your income. But some people would love to just send you training all day and never make contacts. So I always like a go for no or any kind of contact related challenge where people have to make contacts, whether they're calling, messaging. So I'd love to hear more about any kind of contact challenges. You guys know we've been doing a lot of turbo recruiting challenges. So who else is doing something where you're really encouraging them to reach out to people?
Kay has one called Just Start 4-in-1 Club.
Ooh.
Hey, I want to hear about that. Can you come off mute? It's got gold, silver, and bronze levels. I mean, this sounds good.
It's called 4+1 Club, and I think I picked it up from one of my one of these sessions, maybe in the previous executive bound, and some of my other execs on my team are doing it. And anyway, I have to look at my cheat sheet over here on my board, but it's for all the directors. And when they have 8+2, they get, that's a bronze. That's 8 submitted parties plus 2 recruits, and they get a $5 gift card. And then silver would be 16 submitted parties and 4 recruits, and they get a $10 gift card. And gold would be 32 submitted parties and 8 recruits, and they'd get a $25 gift card. So I cannot take credit for that one. I'm a copycat.
It's okay. We always say plagiarism is legal in this business. So
Right.
yeah.
I love that challenge. That's awesome.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, Becca Yan, I do think she shared this in the last session. Yeah, that was really good. Okay, good. Who else wants to come off mute and share? Somebody just put something in and I can't remember who it was. I was like, wait, I want to hear about that. Maybe
Tiffany
it was when you
just typed something in the chat about an everything PC possible recruit Zoom, which I'm assuming is like an opportunity event. She said they've done 2, and out of 22 possible recruits, they've only had 3 not sign. That's really great.
So Tiffany, you got to tell us about that. Was that Tiffany Irwin?
Yes.
It is. Hey, sorry, y'all. I'm on vacation, so I've got the vacation mode going on. But
I love it.
we started it last month, and we do it the last Thursday of every month. And throughout the month, I have our consultants look for, possible recruits, and they invite them on this Thursday night to this everything about PC. And I mean, I share some of the Pampered Chef videos y'all have created. I share testimony from one of the consultants come in and tell their Pampered Chef story. And we share the program, just the business opportunity. And then at the end, we draw names. All the consultants, how many ever recruits they invite, they pay $10, and we draw kit credits. We give away sometimes $325, sometimes $250. Just depends on how many people are in there. But we've had great response. It's got my girls excited. We had one promote to director last month because of it. And I mean, everybody's excited about it. They keep asking, can we do these every week? And I'm like, hey, you have the potential recruits. We'll do it every week. You know, I don't mind doing it at all. And it's just been really
good. So they pay $10 for everyone that joins the call?
Yes, everyone they bring in. So like if I had 4, I'm going to put 40 in, but that's going to, you know, and then depend, like last month we had 10 on, and out of those 10, only 2 didn't sign, but out of the 10, we gave away 2 $50 kit credits. We drew for 2 $50 kit credits. So it really just, I mean, it's, you know, you're putting it into your business. It's just giving back basically.
So let me ask you, tell me about your call to action if they don't sign. Like, is the kit credit just for people that said, hey, I'm in, I want to do this? Or do you do the kit credit drawing first and then figure out, okay, these people win, so obviously then they get the kit? How do you do it?
They have to sign up. Each consultant has to sign a form like a couple of hours before the meeting, so I know who's going to be on the call.
Okay.
And then if the possible recruits make it through the whole meeting, you know, their name's still on the Zoom, then I put them in the drawing because I know if they're still on, they're still interested.
Okay.
And if we're giving away 2 $50 kit credits, and I don't tell them till the very end. I say, okay, guys, you know, now I want to tell you what we're going to do for you. Whoever's interested in this, we're going to draw 4 names. And out of the 4 names we draw, the first 2 have a chance at the $50 credit to go towards your kit. If out of these 2 that get drawn, if one of you decide not to join, then the 3rd person's eligible, and then so on and so on. That's why we draw 4 names so that somebody will get it, but it just kind of goes down. We've never gotten to the 3rd and 4th name because there's always been somebody pick it.
Right.
It's just
nice.
I mean, I worked hard on the PowerPoint that we put up. So it's not a lot of me talking. It's a lot of, you know, there's personal testimonies. There's some recruiting videos that Pampered Chef has to offer. And then, you know, the fast track rewards, all that stuff. But I'm telling you something, if anybody ever wants to come to one, I'll be glad to let y'all sit in. It's just.
Everybody's raising their hands.
It's like nothing I've ever seen, honestly. It really has been incredible. I'm excited about this next month.
I love it. I love it. You're going to get about, let's see, there are 80 people in here. You're going to get about 80 private messages after this.
Hey, I love it. I love it. I love to
Look
have you on.
You're so sweet. So, and here's the thing. I mean, 10 sounds like a lot to me. And if you're like, oh, I don't know, that might be a lot for my consultants. Maybe you do 5. Maybe, I mean, obviously this is working.
That's true.
But, you know,
That's
you can certainly tweak everything that, you know, people do as far as promotions and contests. You guys have to figure out what works best for your team too. So, so I just have a question, maybe rather than having everybody attend your next event, is that like a PowerPoint that you could share or a script or something you can post in our page about that? Or recording.
You know what? I don't know that I've recorded it or not yet. If I haven't, I can run through it and record it. And, you know, as if there's 20 possible recruits out there, I can do that. I'd be glad to do that when I get home next week for vacation.
That's right. That's right. Yes, enjoy your vacation. Thank you for sharing. That's awesome.
That's exciting.
Good. Oh my gosh. And there's so many great ideas coming in the chat. So when you guys get this recording, make sure you read the chat so you can see all of these ideas. And if somebody shared something, you're like, wait, what? How do they do that? Then send them a message. You guys really need to be connecting. And on Facebook, you can post it on our page. You can private message them. But really, the networking that you do within this group is going to be a big part of you guys reaching your goal. So I love it. All right, so we better move on because we want to do one more sharing time if we have a chance to do that. So let me go ahead and share the screen again. Here we go. All right. Okay, so so these are the things that you will want to implement to be able to really fully say, hey, I am totally engaged in teamwork and monthly activity. So if you can't just name these 3 things off just like clockwork, then you're probably not as engaged in teamwork and monthly activity as you think you are. So that's the first thing I want you guys to understand. So the very first piece of this is really one of the most important pieces, which is everyone working together towards common goals. So the question is, first of all, does your team know your goals? Right? And both in the areas of sales, recruiting, you know, even promotion goals. So in order to work together towards common goals, they first have to know the goals. So how are you setting and how are you sharing these goals? So I'm a big fan of setting annual goals. Now I know for some people that's just like too big to even think about. It kind of freaks people out. But I will tell you, having that big, bold number also really inspires people. So that's why we talk about the importance of sharing an annual goal. All right. So I'd love to see you guys type in the chat if you typically share an annual goal, if you don't, if you were afraid to, if you don't know how to, so that we can kind of see, what you're thinking. So let me tell you a little bit about the process. And actually in December, Stacia and I are going to do a whole goal setting segment on how to figure out your goals. And so the first thing I'd encourage you to do is to kind of look at, what is it that you want to do each month and kind of, map it out, and you come up with this big annual goal. A lot of times people will want to reach out to their directors and find out their goals, and all those things are really good. But there's 2 really important things that you have to do. One is the number has to be higher than last year, right? Unless you had a huge decrease and then you're trying to just go flat, that still is an increase, right? So you want it to be higher than last year, so month over month, all right? So let's say you're picking your September goal because you hadn't set it yet, all right? Don't tell me that. But if you haven't, just keep it to yourself. No, I'm just kidding. I love y'all, you know that. So let's say you're setting your October goal, all right? Well, you still should have that too. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So you're going to look back at 2019, October, and you're going to make sure that number is higher than that. Now, the other thing that pretty much all of you are going to have to do, because if you're in this group, you are growing, and you're going to have to look at where you've been trending. So what you'll want to do is to go back to like the last 3 months. So if you went to June, July, August, and compared those numbers to June, July, August of last year. All right, so let's say you guys last year you recruited 30 in June, July, and August, and this year you guys are recruiting 80, okay, in June, July, and August. Obviously, you have more than doubled, almost tripled your recruiting. So you can't just look back at September and say, well, last September we had, 20, let's go for 25. I mean, yes, that's more, but if you've been recruiting, a whole lot more than that, 30 or 40 a month, you need to kind of look at, okay, that's where we were, but this is where we've been most recently. All right. So that helps you to kind of figure out how to set that goal. Once you get your annual goal, you look at your monthly, you want to make sure you have your annual goal and then break it into quarterly goals. I'm a big fan of posting quarterly goals. One of the reasons I love that is, let's say you post your monthly goal, which you also should, and you miss it. What a lot of times people will do is they just ignore it, and you can't ignore it because it's just like, oh my gosh, we didn't make our goal, and you're feeling bad. But think about more than that, when you're not talking about it, what are you not saying, right? And so what's happening is people are thinking, oh my gosh, so this is really bad. We missed this goal. It must be terrible because she's not even talking about it, or he's not even talking about it. So you need to come back and say, hey guys, you know what? We missed this goal, but hey, we recruited more than we did last year. We're still progressing. We're building strength. We're building momentum. Any way that you can spend this to help them understand this is still a plus, right? And it's very positive. So that's something that you guys want to think about. And you can still say, listen, we can still hit this quarterly goal. This is our goal for the quarter. Let's talk about what activities we can do and get the conversation going, kind of like we did today. I mean, all your ideas are awesome. And so for them to hear ideas of their peers is just as powerful as you guys hearing ideas from your peers here as well. So I'm sitting here going, wait, I'm totally off the script. So go for the quarterly goal. Directors set their own goals. We talked about that. So Stacia and I were having a conversation about this, and she was talking about really the focus on figuring out their personal goals, their individual goals. So Stacia, do you want to share a little bit about that?
So a big part of, as Cathy and I were having this conversation last week surrounding vision and the culture of teamwork and monthly activity, is this piece that everyone is working together toward a common goal. And part of that common goal is recognizing that every single person on your team, and I'm talking about those who are active and engaged in working their business, they've got a goal that they're working towards. And because they're working towards a goal, they're enabling and creating this momentum, allowing all of you to work towards the big common goal. So having a conversation as the leader of your organization, as that inspirational leader, with each team member at the end of every month is a great way for you to accomplish a couple of things. Now, I know we all love to help each other achieve their goals and to help other people achieve their goals. That's a huge part of what keeps us moving and going forward. And that's also really a big part of teamwork and monthly activity. When you're helping these team members realize, set a plan, and to work towards their goals, everyone is going to achieve success. So this brief chat, I like to recommend doing it at the end of the month for the month coming. Might sound something like this. Hey, Cathy, you had such an awesome month of August. I am so happy for you. Or maybe they didn't want to work in August. Hey, Cathy, I know you took things a little slower in August. I wanted to check in with you to see what it is that you want from your business next month. And then after Cathy gave me this amazing answer of all of the shows she wanted to hold and all of the recruits she wanted to join and bring her into the team, I would ask something like, how can I support you in achieving this goal? And as the leader of this team, this conversation accomplishes several goals for you. You're helping your team member reset their goals and get focused for the upcoming month, regardless of what happened in the month that you're in. And you're letting them know that you're here for them, to help support them in working towards and achieving whatever it is that they desire to have in their business, whether they want to hold one party in September or 100, bring in one new team member or no team members, whatever their goal is, you are realizing how valuable they are and helping them see and feel as though they are a part of that bigger common goal. And for you, the leader, this conversation is going to give you permission to hold each team member accountable to their goals because they've shared their goals with you no matter what they are. And it lets you know how you can best support each individual in your organization throughout the month, and also gives you a little picture of what accountability looks like to them. Now, lastly, this conversation is certainly going to help you have a lay of the land. And as Cathy was just talking about goal setting, when you know the smaller individual goals of all of your team members, it helps you in setting your monthly and quarterly goals moving forward because you know what to expect from all of your team members.
Yeah, I love that. And, you know, the other piece I know I've heard Stacia talk about too is not only asking how they can support them in their goals, but like what is your plan to achieve this goal? Like what steps are you going to take? Because sometimes people are going to say things, well, you know, first I want to hear the training on this, and then I got to get myself organized. So I'm going to clean up my desk. And you guys know, you've heard this, just they're not doing any income generating activities. So that's where you can come in and ask them some questions that can lead them to make sure they're doing activities like that. So the other thing I think that's really important too about setting and sharing goals is to really help people understand the bigger picture of the goal. So how do you guys do that when you're talking about a sales goal, when you're talking about recruiting? How do you talk about kind of the bigger picture of that goal? So like, for example, when you guys do your team meetings, and I think it's actually been changed in the meeting planner, it used to be done in a way that probably wasn't the way we recommend, but we talk about team goals first, what you guys did as a team, what you guys have done for sales, for recruiting, for promotions, a number of people active, and then it's about the whole team. Now, what you don't want to do is go immediately into personal recognition because that takes away from everything you just did, making everybody in the whole group feel like, wow, we're amazing together. Look what we have done as a group. So you want to wait to do your personal recognition of personal top sellers, top recruiters, all that kind of it needs to happen, it should happen, but save that to the end, because make it all about the team. If you do a newsletter or a post and you're recognizing people that are active, it's not about recognizing the person with the highest sales first. It's just maybe alphabetical or something, so that everybody feels like they're part of that. The other thing I encourage teams to do, if I've gone live on your page or Stacia has, we always talk about, your team sales, and what's really produced all of that is the strong recruiting, right? And so that strong recruiting leads to those strong sales. One thing I always like to do is to have people think about what those sales mean. All right. So let's say that you guys have, I don't know, $1 million in sales in a month. Woo woo. No, that's awesome. Some of you will be soon. All right. Let's just say you guys are, I know the goal is 48,000. Let's say you guys are at 100,000, just to make it easy, because I'm going to do some math. All right. One of the things that I like to do is I like to actually think about how many people are you impacting. I'm going to do the math right here on my calculator. And let's just say our average order is $80, because that's where our guests spend, they get the gift. That's 1,250 people your team is impacting. You guys, that's like really cool. I don't care if it's 50 people, 100 people, 300 people, 1,250 people. That's a lot of people. And how is it impacting people? Well, I mean, first of all, you're helping people to make, mealtime simpler, easier, more fun, more delicious, more nutritious, more budget friendly. Think about the ways that you guys impact people. Are you sharing that when you're sharing your goals with your team? The number of people that you are impacting. If you've never done this, I want you to Google the benefits of family mealtime. All right, because there's about a bazillion, that's the official number, of articles on family mealtime, okay? But like I kind of, grew up in the business sharing a stat that was really powerful. And that was the fact that kids that did well on like standardized tests, ACT, SAT, the one thing they had in common was they would have at least 4 meals per week with their family, TV off, and of course now we have to say devices off, right? Phones, iPads, all of that. So think about what happens when you have a family meal around the table, the interaction, the support, the good things, the bad things. I think it's really fun to create even posts about, what are some things you do around the family meal around the table. Some people would say, what was your high? What was your low today? What was your, but if you just say, how's school? What do they say? Fine. You have to be more specific. So thinking about things like that they can do. So anyway, I don't want to get too much into that, but even just thinking about if you take your organizational sales and divide that by 80, our average, I don't know if that's the actual average order, but it's probably pretty close to that, how you can impact that. And then think about with team recruiting, you guys. One of the things you can ask your team members is how many of you feel like your life is better because you've been in Pampered Chef, because you're a part of Pampered Chef? How is it better? Now, you guys, for brand new consultants, even if they just made $300 versus some of you guys that are getting bigger paychecks, and that's helping you pay off, a huge amount of debt. I mean, if somebody just made $300 and they didn't have a car last week, they can maybe get a car this week, right? So ask them and help them understand how this can really impact their lives. So that's what I always tell people when you're sharing these goals, help them really understand that bigger picture of all of that. Let's see. So, and then also help them understand if they're a consultant, a senior consultant, or a team leader, they're all part of this success. Think about, you guys, how many consultants do we have? We have 60,000, probably more than 60,000 consultants. And only about, we're not quite there yet, but we're getting darn close, 5,000 are directors, which, by the way, all your directors, that means they're in the top 4% of the company. So make sure they know that. But think about that with your team, you guys. This business is about a lot of people doing a little bit and a little bit of people doing a lot. So that's why everybody, if we didn't have our 55,000 consultants, we wouldn't have the sales we have. The masses of all those little orders is a huge contribution to what the company does as a whole and what your team does as a whole. So really helping people to understand that, I think, is really, really valuable. So, so that's a lot on that part, but I feel like people really kind of need that to know, how do I really communicate the importance of these goals? So the second piece of teamwork and monthly activity is consultants being paid at their title, at their level or title every month, and expecting 100% activity. And it's funny because when you say that, people are just like, well, that's not realistic. And first of all, I'm allergic to the word realistic. I think you guys know that by now. I like breakout in hives and everything else. But I like the word honest, but I would never tell any one of you what your reality is or could be, because you guys get to decide that, right? So when you think about sharing the goal of 100% activity, is it really going to happen? It may or may not. But if I said my goal is for our team to hit 50%, if you're on a Zoom with 50 people in that room, 25 of them are going, oh, good, well, we'll hit it because those people are going to do it. She's going to do it. She's going to do it, right? So that's why you have to set the goal for 100% activity. And then Stacey, you're going to speak a little bit to directors or being paid in both pay periods, right?
Yep, absolutely. And I think this is a big part of setting that expectation for 100% activity, is really walking your team members through what it means to be paid in both pay periods and how they can maximize their entire month and their schedule by doing this. And because you've had those one-on-one conversations before the month even started, helping your team see the importance of being paid in each pay period and guiding them to have a complete show schedule across the month, front-loading their calendar, you can show them that being paid in both pay periods really ensures that they are maximizing their business all month long. And if you can show them how to not leave any money on the table by only booking part of their month, there is so much power to this, and it helps you influence that activity level to get to that 100% that we know can absolutely happen for everyone. But it starts with you and taking those steps to show your team members, hey, there's money on the table for you all month long, not just at the very end of the month when we're binge booking and going, oh, wait a minute, I didn't get my sales, I didn't reach my goal yet. But how do we plan for that all month long so that it's not that mad dash, and that we're all active and we're all getting paid at the level that we desire?
Yeah, I love that. No, that's really, really powerful. And I know a lot of people do recognition for that, of people that are paid in both pay periods. I know when I do lives and talk to consultants, senior consultants and team leaders, and I say, maybe you guys are happy just doing one party a week or, 2 parties a month. And that's great. All we ask is you be the best consultant you can be. And the best way to do that is to be active by the 15th of the month, every month. That's a standard best practice at home office. So it's like you're setting that expectation, and it's not that expectation like you better clean up your room, but it's that expectation like, I know you can do this, right? And this is kind of what's working at Pampered Chef. So it's kind of like, you want to be on this bus with us, right?
And it's almost, Kath, it's you came here for a reason. I want to help you accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish. And to do so, let's get it done now. Why wait till the end and be panicked about it?
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, and then of course, expecting and encouraging your directors to be paid at title every month. A lot of you guys have shared or heard what I've shared with that Stacey Itzel has shared with us of, do you want to be paid at title every month? And do you want your directors to be paid at title every month? I would assume you're all going to shake your head yes right now, right? Okay, because I can see a few of your heads. But the question is, do you expect to be paid at title every month? And one of the things that Stacey was sharing is that after they hit NED, somebody came up and they're like, whew, wow, we made it. Okay, so how many months do we actually have to do this? And she's like, well, we got to do it every month. And they were like, no, I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, for you to not lose it, like, how many months do we have to do it? She goes, we have to do it every month. And she said, you have to ask yourself, are you wanting to be green every month and your directors to be green, or are you expecting? And so when you expect, what happens is you're expecting more because you believe in them. And I think that's what comes across, as I believe we can do this. We can all work together to make this happen. So you have to really think about how you're, communicating that with your team. So we'll share some of your ideas, guys, here in just a minute. So the other piece that's really important about teamwork and monthly activity is really removing words like I and me, and changing those to we and us and our team, plural rather than singular. That your words are really powerful. So that's why I said, even the words that are written on your vision board, if it's something that feels kind of me focused, they're going to get that picture from you. So just remember, these words are always helping them see, kind of the bigger picture. So this is where I just want to open this up to you guys. And what are some of the activities that you guys are doing that create a culture of teamwork, monthly activity, helping people to be paid a title, sharing goals, whatever it is. We just have a few minutes here, so I'm going to stop the share so we can do that. So go ahead and type some things in the chat. What are you guys doing that are getting people engaged? I know some people have been doing 15-minute parties. I always talked about the 5, 10, 15 party, and then all of a sudden people took off with the 15-minute party. So the 5, 10, 15-minute party we used to do was where you showed, you tell them to just get 5 friends together. I will show 10 of my favorite products in 15 minutes. And then it kind of turned into all the great things you guys have done with the 5, 10, 15 party. So a big part of really reaching your goals, you guys, is to have a plan B before you need a plan B. All right, we were talking about this on our Friday focus call. And so that if you're at the end of the month, are you going to do a brownie pan challenge, a Cinderella challenge, whatever? But obviously the focus is helping them to get the number of shows booked ahead of time. So what are some things that you guys are doing that are creating lots of engagement, getting people booking, selling, and all of that fun stuff? So who wants to jump in and share? You can just unmute and tell us your name and jump in and share.
We tried a consultant block party last month.
Fun.
And I kind of focused on and targeted people who hadn't been real active and probably didn't start when we were doing block parties, just to introduce the idea. So I looked for really busy moms or busy workers and just said, hey, if you'd like to try this, you can host your own. I'll run it, and I'm going to treat you like a host to teach you how these work. And I kind of did it very quick last minute, of course, like always, flying by the seat of my pants. And I should have planned it a little bit more, but I think had I planned it, it would have been even better. I had probably 7 people sign up, 4 people really engage, and I had a few that got sales, and one gal got like 4 bookings. But the best part was one of them, who is a long-term, she's been around probably 6, 7 years, and just kind of dribbles in sales every few months. Really was like, wow, this is awesome. And I love the way you did the host coaching. It was really a training thing. So
yeah. Oh my gosh. Even if you just inspired that one person to really get on board and do more, that's a win. I love it, Janelle. That's great. Thank you. Allison.
Last night I went live with the Feeding America, because most of my org receive these either by going to conference or earning them in the free-for-all. And I challenged them to sell at least 20, create a party, sell at least 20. Carry these around with them, get the bookings, because getting the bookings in front of those people is what's going to get them the people to talk to join their team. And people love Feeding America, and they are on it. I've gotten so many messages from my team. It's like, we got the parties booked, and I'm talking to somebody about signing up. It's like sometimes I have to go find a way to get them into the recruiting aspect of one way. But they all love this. So
that's fun. And I'll tell you, I mean, especially during COVID, people were really participating in a lot in all the fundraisers with Pampered Chef matching. There were fundraiser parties, and it's really great to get people involved in those. So great idea. Okay, Sue Moulton, are you on here? I can't find you now. You said something about food and I missed it.
Yeah, I'm here. We had our director call right before this call, and I challenged my directors to work with me to help come up with, like Jesse was talking about, original content. So like original content, but related to food in our parties and stuff like that, so that, because everybody says they want recipes. So engagement posts that create food that gets engagement, so that we actually have more people in our parties actually seeing what we're posting. So I think that that's been a big complaint for my team. So we're trying to troubleshoot that, because if we have people engaging in their parties, then activity will come. You know,
so a big complaint that they didn't know
they're
enough.
not getting engagement in their parties.
Oh, okay, good.
And Jesse had just posted on Director Success that we need to be more, you know, original. And I'm fine with going live, but we have a lot of team members that will not go live. They're too afraid to do that. So as leaders, we said, okay, like, let's work with those people. There are some people that are virtual consultants because they want to be behind a screen. So let's, as a team, troubleshoot engagement posts that will create engagement, but make it food related. Like we used to do the, you know, if you had to give up chocolate or cheese kind of thing, and we took original photos. That was a great one. I get lots of engagement, but those are 1-word answers. So going into the new Facebook, we're like, how do we create an engagement post that gets a 4-word answer? So we're troubleshooting those right now. But we were talking about engagement, and like, how do we get engagement for those people on our team that want to be active but are not having success in their parties. Like, if they can't get people to comment, they can't respond to them. So we're troubleshooting that right now.
I love it. So all of you guys that are sharing ideas, I'm gonna pick on all of you. You have to post your ideas on the Facebook page and start a thread. Think how cool this could be, you guys. You got 200 of, you know, the smartest people in Pampered Chef on this call. You guys know what you're doing, you love what you're doing, and to get all those ideas on just that one idea that Sue brought up, or Allison brought up, or any of the ideas that have been shared, I really encourage you guys to go start the post and start the conversation. So great ideas. All right, and keep them coming in the chat. We only have a few minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. So let me share my screen again, and there we go. Okay, so, oops, am I on there? All right, so I just was kind of gonna, you know, go through this list, but instead, this was, you know, based on the different ideas, just that a lot of people have shared with me. I will post those as well. And it'll be fun for you guys to see, okay, what other engagement things can we do, or to even start the conversation about, okay, how do you do your 15-minute parties? What's working? Who's having success with it? Take advantage of these great minds. Okay, so if you have not actually shared your vision board and figured out how to share it, what to say, what to do, that is the first part of your homework. The second part is to set and share your personal team and organizational recruiting and sales goal for September and your goal for the rest of the year. Just like we shared, we wanted 108, you know, new executives, and we got 11, and now we've got 97 to go, right? So, think about how you're going to do that. Are you going to go live? Are you going to do it on your Zoom? Do you have a video? What are you going to say? And actually, is Jill Johnson on here? Because she actually just sent Stacia and I a message that she went live in each individual director's group and kind of created that vision. Jill, are you on here? If you're waving at me, I can't see you, so you have to unmute. I don't know if Jill's on today. But anyway, that was kind of, oh, is she here?
No, I don't see her.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right. But anyway, so you guys think about how you want to do it. You guys are the creative ones. So think about how you want to share these goals. But I'll tell you, it is powerful when people start to see your Share the Love board, or, you know, the recruiting, and just like on Jennifer's personal team page, how she's recognizing that. So that's a big part of it. And then if you have not done this, you need to pick your Fab 5. Now, we always talk about have at least 5 people you're working with from your personal team. Now, I realize some of you are going, hey, I have looked and there are not 5 people there, right? But if you are creating desire with those brand new consultants and talking about Fast Track and saying, hey, all this can be yours, you're going to be surprised how soon you're going to find 5 on your personal team. The other piece that's really important to finding these 5, you guys, is to personally reach out. All right, when you reach out to these people personally, I was having a conversation with Cammie Cruz the other day, and one of the things they do in their Director Bound is that once they get 2 recruits, they're invited to a mastermind, which is kind of like Director Bound Plus, right? But they have to have at least 2 recruits. And so they will personally call them and say, you've gotten your 2 recruits and you have a strong show schedule, and this is why we think you need to be a part of this group. And this is the thing I love. Not only are they talking about their staff, they're talking about their character. So like if I was talking to Stacia, I'd say, wow, Stacia, I mean, you've just started with Pampered Chef. You've already booked 6 parties. You know, you're rocking and rolling. You've got your first 2 team members. This shows me your perseverance and your dedication. I would like to personally invite you to be one of 5 people I'm working with to get all these fast track rewards. I really can only work that closely with 4 or 5. I'd like you to be one of them. All right? What do you think, Stacia? Stacia, sign her up. So that's the thing, you guys. Make it really personal when you're looking for your Fab 5. All right, so just a reminder, September 22nd, we have the amazing and wonderful Steve Drapolsky, who's going to be sharing all his ideas for engagement. So mark that, put it in red, put a star around it, circle it, wear it around your neck if you need to, but don't forget about that particular date. Tomorrow I'll be doing our Facebook Live, which you guys know is about 15 to 20 minutes, kind of answering any additional questions you have from this webinar. Hitting on some key points. And then we are doing Monday Motivation. How many of you have watched all 3 of the videos that are on already from our execs that have just promoted from Executive Bound? They're amazing. So every Monday we're doing that. We didn't do it on Labor Day because we didn't want to make the execs labor on Labor Day, but next week we're going to have a guest speaker. The week after that we have somebody who's about to become a national. So make sure you guys tune into those videos. And then we have our networking and Q&A October 2nd. I thought I was going to have to change the date because we're doing some script read-throughs, but we are going to be able to keep it on October 2nd. So remember, if you're in month 1 or month 2, you get to get on the 10 a.m. Central call. The only way we know you're on that call is if you filled out the survey that we sent out at the very first part of the month. So if you didn't fill it out, you need to message me or Stacia so that we know. And if for some reason you changed your goal and you're not going for month 1 right now, you can let us know that too. It's fine. These things happen all the time. We also have a call at 12 noon that is open to everybody. So you guys, these calls were powerful. We had 2 amazing calls on Friday, and yet you got to be live. So I think that is it, and we're good to go. So if you guys have any questions, comments, reach out to us. This week, Stacia and I are focused on reaching out to those that are in month 1 and month 2, setting up our coaching calls and our lives with all of you guys. And let's see. That's kind of the focus really for this week. We have some senior executives going for month 1. We're supporting 2, so it's very busy. So make sure that when we reach out, you let us know if you guys can, work a date in with us. All right. So I think that's it. Did I miss anything, Stacia?
You got it. You nailed it.
All right. So hey, if you guys have questions or comments, you can reach out to Stacia or I. And private message us is actually quicker than email because we have so much work email in there. So feel free to reach out to us. I like to comb through all that stuff and just go, where are my leaders? I want to find those people. So that's why we tell you to message us, because we want you guys to be a priority for sure. All right. So thanks you guys for jumping in. Have a fabulous day. Go and put into action something from this call. And I'm going to post a conversation question of what is the one thing that you are going to do from this call. All right. So we'll see you guys soon. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.